We have plenty to go over and plenty to discuss after the Browns' regular season finale, but really quickly, help us reach our goal of 40,000 subscribers for QB number 40 to close out the season. Hit the sub button down below if you're looking for a free Browns channel all off season long. The Browns throwing an interception to quite possibly the fattest person to ever intercept a football in NFL history was a perfect ending to the 2024 season as the Browns lost to the Ravens 35-10, and we are all officially out of our misery. So I'm not going to spend too much time rehashing this game. I don't think anyone wants to hear about this game any more than we had to while watching this game. So I'll skip to the good part, which is the Browns have locked themselves into picking top 3. I'm going to put them at 3. They're technically not really 3, but let's wait for the Patriots and Titans to play because if the Patriots and Titans both lose, then Cleveland is going to pick 3rd. So, here is the most important part of the video. Are you listening? We are cheering for the Patriots over the Bills backups. We are cheering for the Titans at home against the Texans who may or may not play all their starters. A little TBD on that front right there. But if either or both of those teams lose, the Browns are going to move up in the draft. So sit back on Sunday and break out your Patriots and Titans gear because we are actively rooting for those teams. Now, I don't want to get too deep down the well of what should the Browns do if they get the first overall pick. Let's just see if it happens first, right? We're talking about 2 3-win teams winning in Week 18. Let's pump the brakes on just assuming that's going to happen because we want it to happen. I am in the mindset, though, of ideally you trade the pick to a QB desperate team like the Giants who are currently going to pick 4, or maybe the Raiders or the Jets, right? And you get a good haul to make up for 3 straight seasons of no first-round draft pick and only 1 second-round draft pick in that 3-year span. That's what I would prefer to do. I know a lot of people watching right now want to pick a quarterback. No. In my opinion, you can't just take a quarterback because you want to take a quarterback. You are severely undervaluing a top 3 draft pick. You take a quarterback top 3 because you believe that quarterback is going to be your franchise quarterback for 15 years. That's what a top 3 draft pick is worth. Not, we need a quarterback, we're picking top 3, so let's just take one. That's a horrible use of a very valuable draft pick. There are a lot of very good prospects in this draft. No one's a guarantee, but take guys as close to guarantees as possible when you're picking top 3. I know that a defensive end like Abdul Carter is not going to solve the Browns' quarterback issues, but neither is Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, in my opinion. So why don't you go out and get a close to close to being a perfect prospect as possible, like Abdul Carter, like Mason Graham, an offensive tackle like Kelvin Banks or Will Campbell. Just anyone but Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders because I don't think they are going to be franchise quarterbacks in the NFL. And I don't want to see the Browns waste a very valuable draft pick because everyone's just too impatient to wait for the right quarterback and just wants to take one for the sake of taking one. You can do that in round 3. I'm willing to waste a 3rd-round pick on a quarterback because we just want to get something new in there. Don't waste a top 3 draft pick on a quarterback because we're too impatient to get the right quarterback at the right time. This is not the draft to solve your quarterback problems. I know that's not what you want to hear, but what I don't want to hear is next year the Browns are picking top 3 again and they're looking for another quarterback because they forced a pick that was clearly wrong. And it is all Malik Willis, Josh Rosen 2.0. Don't do that. Please trade the pick to a team that's honestly, I'd say dumb enough to trade up for one of these 2 quarterbacks because I don't think either quarterback is worth a top 3 draft pick. Why? Shedeur Sanders holds onto the ball for way too long, takes way too many sacks. He had more time in the pocket or more time holding onto the football than most quarterbacks last year. It was one of the most sacked quarterbacks in college football. That's a major concern to me. And as for Cam Ward, way too many turnover-worthy plays. He is constantly playing hero mode. In college, you can get away with that. In the NFL, when your defensive ends are as fast as your wide receivers sometimes, you can't get away for that. So no. No to both those guys right there. That's my draft synopsis that I said I wouldn't go too deep on, but I ended up getting onto a little bit of a tangent. So, Browns picking top 3. We are rooting for the Patriots, and we are rooting for the Titans. If either one wins, the Browns move up to at least 2, and if both win, they are picking number 1 for the 3rd time since 2017 when they selected Myles Garrett. Speaking of Garrett, he unfortunately failed to record a sack today, and now we enter the offseason wondering what's next for Myles. And that's what I want to talk about next on the show. But first, a quick shout out to our friends over at Prize Picks. Prize Picks is super fun and super simple to use. All you've got to do is select more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Prize Picks now offers Venmo and MasterCard for quick and easy deposits and withdrawals into your account this season. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. All of that information is in the comments and description of today's video. Once again, download the Prize Picks app and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. So let's talk a little bit about this game, but specifically Myles Garrett and his future with the Browns, because Garrett was open and honest about not wanting to be a part of a rebuild. And after this performance, which I would say for most of the game, the Browns showed a lot of effort. I know 35-10, if you don't watch, looks like they got their teeth kicked in. I don't know, it's 21-10 with 9-10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Then the Ravens pulled away. But there was a lot more effort from a lot of guys I had never heard of. I don't know who the Browns running back was today. It's my job to know, and I had never heard that name. Who is this? That was new information for me. I knew Jerome Ford was placed on IR, so Deontay Foreman. I saw they signed John Kelly, so I thought, maybe a little bit of him. Pierre Strong Jr. concussion protocol. No, that's a new name for me. I think it's a new name for all of Cleveland. So there were a lot of no-namers out there today, and they showed some fight for much of the game. Ultimately, a fat man interception was a real dagger. But Myles Garrett, getting back to him. He finishes the year with 14 sacks. So at best, he is going to be the co-sack leader with Trey Hendrickson, who, as you're watching this video right now, is playing the Steelers, and maybe he has a sack already, maybe not. But sucks for Garrett that he couldn't get that single season, sack record for the NFL or single season sack leader. But as for his future, I believe Myles Garrett will be a Cleveland Brown in 2025. I could see a contract extension coming his way. Money goes a long way to make people happy. And right now, he's making $25 million a season. Number 1 in the NFL is Nick Bosa at $34 million. So maybe we see Garrett kind of close that gap by half. And all of a sudden, Myles making $29, $30 million a year. And he's no longer looking to get out of Cleveland, which I don't think he's publicly ever trying to get that across. But he is sending a message to the front office, hey, I'm not going to be a good foot soldier and just sit by and be a part of a rebuild. He wants a plan. And I think the Browns are going to come together with a plan, which is, depending on what draft pick they get, we're going to use that pick to either move back in the draft and acquire more assets, and we're going to get a bridge quarterback, which I know no one wants to hear because it's not long-term, and we're going to attack the quarterback position in 2026. My guess is the Browns starting quarterback for Week 1, 2025 is not on the roster. Here's my quarterback prediction. You ready? I think it's going to be 3 quarterbacks on the roster. Deshaun Watson on the PUP list. He probably is going to be on the PUP going into training camp, whether he's healthy or not, because the Browns are probably just going to want to just move on from him altogether, out of sight, out of mind. We're going to have a rookie who's probably going to be a 3rd or 4th round draft pick, and there's going to be a veteran. Could be Kirk Cousins, Could be Justin Fields, could be Jacoby Brissett, could be Jameis Winston. There will be a veteran brought in, and that veteran is going to start week 1. There has been some murmurs and some chatter about Watson and a veteran battling for the starting quarterback job. Let's just wait and see if Deshaun's even healthy from this Achilles injury he suffered in October for training camp. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that he might not be ready to go. Or the Browns are going, hey, healthy or not, we don't really want to see you start anymore. So we're just going to drag out this injury and hide you on the PUP list, which could get a little ugly. But if you're Watson, you go, all right, you want to pay me to not play? Fine. Could be a win-win for all parties. But going back to Garrett, I hope and expect him to be on this team in 2025. I think there is a world where he gets traded, but it's not a very big world. It's not a very big chance. I think he's probably going to be in line for a little bit of a pay bump, and the Browns sit him down and go over their plan and make him feel like he's a part of the decision-making. And ultimately, everyone is happy to run it back for 2025. But thankfully, we're done watching this team. It's over. 17 games, 18 weeks of miserable Sundays have finally come to an end. And now we get ready for, I don't think the biggest offseason in Cleveland Browns history, but every single offseason certainly feels like a big one. And this one does, with the Browns getting back into the first round of the draft in dramatic fashion, picking guaranteed top 3. So make sure to subscribe to the channel. Help us reach 40,000 subscribers. Trying to get there by the end of the day. Kind of end the season with 40K subs. It would be an awesome milestone to accomplish. So if you're looking for a Browns YouTube channel for the entire offseason, free agency, draft, all that good stuff, click that sub button down below. I had a fun stat I meant to share earlier. It came from Zach Jackson's Twitter. You guys ready for this one? The 2017 Browns point differential, minus 176. The 2024 Browns point differential, minus 177. So there you have it. Let's end with that right there. And just get ready for 2025 and be grateful that this season is finally over.